I like in the city and Mumbai, which is so very well known all over the country, has been organizing many programs to promote communal harmony, about which he will be shortly telling you. We have the association of Mr. Soha Ali and his YouTube motion pictures, which has, I am told, made a and that's why this campaign has been named as Mumbai Meri Jaan, the movie, which I understand is based on the terrorist violence which had taken place about 2 years ago in the city. In the train blasts, lots of people lost their lives. Well, as we all know, that one of the main objectives of the terrorists in the last, maybe having a political agenda, then they went and started exploding bombs in masjids. You know, we had bomb explosions in Malegaon Masjid, in Hyderabad, and even in Ajmer Sharif. So this sinister design is to somehow to see that Hindus and Muslims fight among themselves, and that there is complete lawlessness and disorder will help them achieve their ultimate objective of splintering this country. We have therefore to make sure that they do not succeed in their nefarious designs. Well, the terrorists, the country live together, work together, and see that the country prospers together. Trying to create a communal divide. You find that terrorism is not simply a phenomenon which is there in India. You have one. It's a problem which the entire international community is facing. Pakistan is having the worst kind of a problem of terrorism. It has had many terrorist strikes. Morocco, Libya, Kenya, Turkey, you name it. Any number of Muslim countries have been facing this problem. Therefore, about terrorism in terms of Hindus and Muslims. Now, we all know that one of the objectives of this program is, ladies and gentlemen, to invite the public, to call upon the public, to join hands with the authorities, to put up a fight against the terrorists. We had terrorism in Punjab. Many people lost their lives. A time came when we felt that probably terrorism would probably two civilian aircrafts exploded in the mid-air. Then there was an incident in Baslam when school children were taken hostage, again in 2009. Their parents and teachers were killed. And when what Mr. Putin, the president, time in the broadcast to the nation, I would like to repeat that to you for the this prove that terrorists meet the most effective rebuff where they confront not only the power of the state but also an organized and united civil society. We are here, ladies and gentlemen, to call upon you to close up your ranks and join hands with the authorities in putting up a fight against terrorism. And that alone can see the end of the menace of terrorism.
You say one abuse, you will give me 2 abuses, I will give 3. It will be counteracted by 4. And to give a name to terrorism any religious label is not proper to my mind. You see, to call people for a Hindu bomb and Hindu suicide squad, I think we are leading this exhortation to a civil war. Country, including all of us, will be. And when these, on the 6th of December 1992, when this took place, the Mullah committees were called. And the Hindus said, okay, we are also sorry that the masjid was demolished. Stay with Muslim houses. You see, unless we come together as Indians, I am afraid the future will be black. We will not have a harmony and national integration. So,
and we would like we would make an appeal and we would implore the media to give their support to us to carry forward the message. You have very powerful. Wala has made a movie on the train blast, which must be, I'm sure, a very poignant story, and from the man who has given it a shape, from the horse's mouth, Mr. Escobar.
Nishikant has made the movie and we've produced it. Mr. Khurakiwala, Mr. Singh, Nishi, Soha, Kiranji, and friends. I think clearly and absolutely, Mr. Singh took us back to a decade, or a little more than a decade ago, when for the first time I think Mumbai was paralyzed. Almost India was paralyzed at that time for those 4 or 5 days. And I think anyone who was above the age of 8 years, from then on and now, cannot forget those times. And I think after that, terrorism, in some form or the other, has reared its ugly head, some part of India, in some communal way, which has affected lives across this very great nation. I think we're here today for something that is quite unprecedented. And I think full kudos to the association and the organization and Mr. Khurakiwala and the entire committee members for their initiative. Because at the end of the day, it's always the spirit of unanimity that can dispel terrorism. Because as everyone said, it has no religion, it is always anonymous, it has its own agenda. And preventing it, especially in the age when there is more suicidal terrorism than anything, is almost impossible. And therefore, the best way to repel that, the best way to communicate necessarily that it is most ineffective in any form in which it is subjected to us, is necessarily through the spirit of unanimity. And I think this signature campaign necessarily represents that initiative in a very, very strong and symbolic manner. And I think it is not a mean task to go from the Oberoi to Chapati, and everyone knows what that distance is, and for us to have that kind of sense of strong, not since the Greek legend and the Greek origin of the Olympics Games, where everyone takes the torch and goes about. I think this is almost as strong a milestone. And I fully appreciate and respect the fact that the media is here today necessarily to put that center stage so they can further support this initiative of the signature campaign.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's a great honor to be on such a prominent dais with such prominent personalities. Thank you, sir. Well, I have been born and brought up in Mumbai. We all are part of India. And we have seen all the possible tragedies, the terrorist attacks which have happened around. The entire thing.
And I investigated that case. And it was the perception of a young person and the perception of a person who has acted in this movie and put Soha Ali.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Firstly, I'd just like to say that I feel very, very humbled sitting here in such esteemed company. I am the youngest person here, far less experienced to talk about this issue. I feel very humbled, not only by the company, but also by the cause, because it is something that looms so large in front of us and seems so intractable. And for me to be here, to be speaking about it, to be lending my support in any way possible, be it through films, be it through associating with such a wonderful organization, your wonderful vision, Mr. Khurakiwala, that inspires us in so many ways. I think that when I decided to become an actor about 3 years ago, I thought, and it probably isn't true, that the kind of cinema that we make, especially in this country that sees so many troubles, is essentially escapist, is essentially for entertainment. It's when we lean back, we finish our days at work, you know, we deal with poverty, we deal with unemployment, we deal with terrorism on an almost daily level. And we don't want to see that in cinemas. We want to go away, we want to see comedies, we want to see song and dance, we want to enjoy ourselves. And that's really what I thought I would be doing. And that's what I thought we should be doing as well. I didn't feel like I was a role model at all as an actor. My job is to entertain people. But I think that that's a huge myth in this country. I think we forget when we say that cinema is escapist. In this country, it's our staple diet. It's what we all live and breathe. We all go to the cinema, we all watch films, and they are important and they're hugely, hugely influential. And I think that is something that I've learned to accept, that I've learned to embrace, and I've learned to understand that there's a lot that we can contribute through this Vande Basanti that I was very honored to be a part of. There's a film now called Mumbai Meri Jaan that again, I'm very honored to be a part of. These are films, in some small way, we are trying to make films that are about communal harmony, that embrace the spirit of national unity, that are yet presented in a way which are entertaining. You know, like Rangde, which had music, which had a lingo that, you know, the youth of this country associate with. So I think that that is a wonderful balance that we're trying to bring, a wonderful partnership that, you know, I'm happy to be a part of. I really believe that an issue like communal harmony, like peace, is far too important to be left to governments alone. Governments are often stalled by their own agendas, are unable to move forward. Immediately after the train blast that happened in 2006, there was a setback in the peace process between India and Pakistan. And then, you know, it slowly dawned upon people that this is exactly what the terrorist agenda would be. It is important in times like that to still move forward, which is where civil society comes in. And I believe I am, like many of us in this country, I am a product of secular India. I am a product of Hindu-Muslim marriage. This is something that has meant a lot to me. My whole education, my cultural upbringing at home has always been all-inclusive. And I think I've also worked for 2 years with an NGO. Because again, the importance of NGOs, the importance of civil society. I worked after I graduated in international relations with an organization in New Delhi that worked to promote peace between Hindu-Muslim communities all over South Asia. I didn't feel that I would be able to contribute to that as strongly once I became an actor, but it's wonderful that, and hugely instrumental to be able to do that. So I would like to commend everybody sitting here for everything that they're doing to promote communal harmony. Terrorism is something that affects us all. At one stage it didn't. I mean, there were rules, there were laws of military engagement between people. You did not attack women and children, you did not attack innocent people. We are all, relatively innocent people here. But we are all affected by terrorism, and as a result of that, I feel all of us have a responsibility to fight back in whatever way possible. So, if I can do that through Mumbai Meri Jaan, I was given an opportunity by Mr. Screwala, by UTV, by Nishikant Kamath. I'm very proud of this film, but I, more than that, lend any support that I can to, to this coalition for a better tomorrow, to Mr. Khurakiwala, and I'm very happy that we can tie up with the organization. Thank you.